The A-list parents on this list clearly don't mind letting their kids follow in their footsteps because they all agreed to share screen time with them. So today we're looking at 10 celebs who starred in movies and TV shows with their kids right here on Listed. Now, most of us probably cringe at the idea of working with our parents or kids, but for these talented celebs, it was clearly a gratifying experience on both sides. Well, at least we hope it was. Whether they loved or hated working together, we're just glad we got to enjoy watching the results. So without further ado, let's kick off this parent-child acting duo list with Dream Team Billy Ray Cyrus and Miley Cyrus, who obviously starred in Hannah Montana together.
Wish you may and wish you might. Don't you worry, hold on tight.
Billy Ray and Miley's comedic chemistry was spot on in every episode of Hannah Montana, as well as the Hannah Montana movie, but while we love watching the pair be hilarious and adorable with each other week after week, Miley said the experience, quote, "I didn't get a school escape like most people. I went to work with my dad. That was really hard. I just spent 10 years every day with my dad and grandma. I had to break free." Okay, so maybe we shouldn't hold our breaths for a reboot anytime soon. Next up, Angelina Jolie and daughter Vivienne Jolie-Pitt shared the screen for Disney's Maleficent.
So we realized that the only 4-year-old that would not run away from me was my own daughter.
Okay, ready, Viv? Do this, turn around, stand there, stand on your blue toes, blue toes.
I mean, it can't be easy seeing your mom dressed up as such a scary villain at that age, so the fact that Vivienne didn't cry or even flinch officially makes her the most professional 4-year-old we've ever seen. And speaking of the Jolie-Pitt kids, 11-year-old Shiloh has also previously shared the screen time with dad Brad, appearing in his film The Curious Case of Benjamin Button at just 2 years old. Even as Brad Pitt's child, I'd have a hard time looking at him, let alone working with him. I mean, the intimidation factor just runs too deep for me, but I definitely commend 2-year-old Shiloh for taking on the challenge. Next on our list, Will and Jaden Smith brought on the waterworks when they starred opposite each other in The Pursuit of Happiness.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
That movie is just too beautiful and sad to handle, but nowadays Jaden is too busy being a fashion icon and philosophical tweeter to star in any more films with his dad, but hopefully they'll work together again at some point in the future. We'll just assume it won't be on a sequel to After Earth because Will called that movie, quote, the most painful failure of his career. Moving on, who can mistake the uncanny resemblance of Meryl Streep and daughter Mamie Gummer in the film Evening? Clearly, there is a reason the filmmakers cast Mamie as a younger version of her mom's character in the movie.
In the middle of my rehearsal dinner, I told him that since I was 15, that I turned down every other guy who came along who wasn't him.
I can't think of anything scarier than having to fill the shoes of your mother when your mother is the Meryl Streep. But Mamie did an incredible job and has continued to prove that she's a great actress in her own right ever since. Next up, Scott Eastwood showed off his acting chops alongside actor-director father Clint Eastwood in the film Gran Torino.
Way to go, old man. Shut up. What is all this bro anyway?
We all know Scott Eastwood as the hot guy from Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams video, but Scott since proved that he's more than just a pretty face, probably thanks to the fact that he's got one hell of an acting mentor for a dad. Moving down the list, we've got Leslie Mann, who starred opposite daughters Maude Apatow and Iris Apatow on more than one occasion.
You should get to know your little sister.
When I'm in my 20s or something, not now.
Who says I want to hang out with her?
Leslie and director husband Judd Apatow clearly have a ton of fun when making movies together, so it's no wonder they decided to make going to work a full-blown family affair. Maude and Iris were hilarious playing opposite Leslie and Knocked Up in the follow-up film This Is 40, so we're really hoping to see more of this trio on the big screen in the near future. Next on our list is the formidable father-son duo of Tom Hanks and son Colin Hanks, who worked together in That Thing You Do and The Great Buck Howard.
Dad, I'm sorry. Haven't heard from you in over a month. Had to call your friends like I was some kind of freaking cop.
I know.
Colin Hanks had a brief cameo in Tom's movie That Thing You Do, but the two got to share a healthy amount of screen time in The Great Buck Howard. In that film, art imitates life as the duo play father and son, although hopefully there's not as much tension between Tom and Colin in real life as there is in that movie. Next up, Jerry Stiller and Ben Stiller clearly love working with each other, evidenced by the fact that they've done it multiple times.
Hey, you want to hear some great news?
Ben and Jerry Stiller have starred opposite each other in a number of films, including The Heartbreak Kid, and of course the iconic Zoolander. Ben may be the more famous one of the two, but veteran actor Jerry Stiller clearly passed down his masterful comedic acting chops to his son, so he can probably take a lot of credit for his son Ben's impressive career. And last on our list, but one of our all-time favorite mother-daughter pairs, it's Tina Fey and Alice Richmond.
First wedding I ever went to, I was a flower girl for my Aunt Linda. When they said, "You may now kiss the bride," I did my first ever eye roll.
Tina's daughter, Alice, played a young version of her character Liz Lemon in a flashback scene on 30 Rock, and although Alice didn't have any dialogue in the scene, she did completely nail her mom's iconic eye roll, which is no easy feat. Alright guys, now I want to hear which celeb parent-kid combination was your favorite to see on the big or small screen. Let me know in the comment section below, and then click right over here to check out celeb kids who starred in their parents' music videos. Thanks so much for always hanging out with me here on Listed, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm your host, Emilianus Jr., and I'll see you next time.